Pro Bluetooth tutorial. I'm going to show you guys how to get excellent sound quality from Djay Pro without all of these wires. Before Djay Pro introduced Spotify and streaming services to DJing, DJs were really the last people that actually bought music in the sense of downloading a song, saving it to a hard drive, and then using that music. Most people have transitioned into streaming service, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. So it's the same thing with the Bluetooth. DJs are really the only people left hardwiring in their audio. Most phones don't even have a headphone jack, or my iPad doesn't even have a headphone jack, because the future is Bluetooth. So as DJs, we should be getting used to DJing with Bluetooth, because eventually they might not even have any ports on the iPad. It would just be wireless charging and Bluetooth connections. So there is one problem when it comes to DJing with Bluetooth speakers, and that is there is a slight latency. So that means if you go to do a scratch, and with scratches you have to be very precise, or if you're doing beat matches, or even if you're throwing in some samples, you're going to be slightly off beat. And when you're DJing, that's the worst thing that you could do, is being off beat and making train wreck sounds and stuff like that. So as DJs, we have to be creative and think out of the box, and we have to adjust our style of DJing with the latency. So one of the ways to do this is by knowing your tracks. So all the tracks in your playlist should be organized so you know where they are. So this one is my 2000s music, 2000s pop. And all these songs have cue points. And now that Djay Pro made it even easier to see these cue points by adding the color coding, now we can know that, let's say, every one that has a red cue point is when we're going to start the track, and everything that has a, let's say, blue cue point is when we end the track. So make your own code that makes sense to you, and every song that you plan on playing have these color-coded cue points ready to go, so at least you know where to start the song and where to end the song. And if you want, you could put, if you're going to do wordplay transitions, or if there's a word that you want to emphasize, you could save that cue point, and then let's just say this part of the song says dance. Now you have it there, and it will always say dance, and these cue points will stay on the song no matter if you exit out of the app, if you log out, if you log back on. These cue points are there forever, even on streaming songs. So now we have our cue points ready. Every song that we're going to play is going to have cue points. Next is the visual cues. And now Djay Pro has made it even easier for us. If we go in the Pro mode, we have more access to these waveforms. I'll just double that. So we have access to these really big, colorful, detailed waveforms. And the good rule of thumb is the smaller the waveform, the smaller the sound. The bigger the waveform, the more bass and the more power in the sound. So knowing that, you guys could really know just by looking at it. You don't even have to hear anything. You could know just by looking at it what kind of sound is going to be there. So you never want to have too strong basses playing, because then it would be overpowering. So you just make sure you are looking at these waveforms as you DJ. And you could also adjust them. You could put it on dark mode, which makes it a little bit easier on the eyes, and you can even zoom in. So you could zoom all the way in, zoom all the way out, and you could even see the Nero mix waveforms. So if you go over here, that is the regular track, but if you go to Nero mix, it's going to separate the drums and the bass. So if we take the vocals out, so look at this waveform on the right. If we take it off, that's going to disappear, and now we only have the instrumental. So the songs that you play a lot, look at them and get familiar with knowing what part is vocals and what part is just beats, because you never under any circumstances want to mix two songs that are playing lyrics, because it's going to be confusing. Our brains can only process one person talking at a time, and it'll give people headaches and it'll just sound very unprofessional. So with this new waveform view, we have access to all four of the neural mix bands. So look, taking out the drums, and now we just have the harmonics and the vocals. And then we take out the harmonics, and now we just have vocals. Also, if you go over here, you could do vertical, you could do horizontal waveforms, or you could do vertical. So a lot of people that are getting into using Djay Pro are used to other DJ softwares, Tractor, Serato, Virtual DJ, Rekordbox, and you may be used to horizontal waveforms or you may be used to vertical. So you have access to set it like the way you want it so that you'll always have the waveforms that you're used to, so you don't even have to look at the song. When I first started DJing, I would just be DJing on my phone, and I would bring a pair of headphones like this and have the headphones connected to my phone, and I would tell people, hey, I'm a DJ, you want to hear my song? I would give them the headphones, and I would be DJing on my phone, doing a really cool routine, and they'd be like, how are you DJing without hearing the music? And it was because I gotten so good at the visual cues. And then also, we're going to just adjust our style of DJing. So instead of doing, complex beat matches and complex scratch routines, we're going to be using effects to do the transitions. So Djay Pro has added all these effects that are great for transitions, like echo out, reverb out, and all these ones that say out at the end. That means that you just put the effect on. So you would just hit this effect, and boom, the song's going to echo out, and then you could just start another song. Start the next song on a powerful line that everyone knows on a one beat, and do mixes like that. Echo out, boom, slam in the one beat. And what if you do want to scratch? Well, that's no problem, because in my other videos, I taught you guys how to record your scratches, and then now that your scratches are recorded, you can do your scratches from the sample pads instead of trying to scratch to the beat over Bluetooth with the latency. Now, another thing that I want to show you that is new with Bluetooth with the update is if we go over here to settings, audio device setup. So if you look now, it says main output is to the JBL speaker that I'm using. What you can do is, if you want, you could output to the iPad speaker. So let's just say you want to practice or something and you don't want it to be on Bluetooth, then your output could be to the iPad speaker. But the thing that's really cool is now you could connect this iPad through Bluetooth, and that's the main output, and then you could connect a microphone. So if you have an adapter like this, you plug this into the iPad, and then you could plug in a USB microphone like this one. I'm not going to do it because it's the microphone I'm using to record this video, but then you'll see the microphone in this channel. So instead of iPad microphone, it'll say USB microphone. So now you could be DJing with your iPad and a microphone, and then the audio is going to come out of Bluetooth. So this gives you endless possibilities, and now we could add the microphone into Djay Pro, which before we weren't. So even if you're DJing with a controller, you could have the controller plugged in to one of these ports, and then on one of the other ports is going to be the microphone, and then the whole audio can go out to Bluetooth. Just because you could still use these controllers, even though this is a hardwired controller, you could still use this controller over Bluetooth. It'll be the same thing as DJing with just the iPad, but there's going to be the slight latency and that issue. So I hope this could help you guys get out there and DJ without all of these wires and have more fun and make it more accessible to get more gigs in smaller places. And if you like learning about DJing on the iPad, subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. Thank you.